Your little project is over, Dad growled. Mom shoved a list of jobs across the table. Just then, the headline flashed on the screen. Youngest self-made billionaire revealed. Their faces froze when my name lit up. Enough, David. Dad's fist slammed against the dining table, the sound echoing through the narrow walls. The glass of water tipped, spilling into a slow stream that slid toward the edge before dripping onto the floor. Mom flinched at the noise, but her eyes stayed locked on me. She pushed a folded paper across the table, her fingers pale, her nails tapping once against the wood. Here, a list of jobs, real jobs. You'll pick one. This nonsense ends tonight. I didn't move. My hands rested in my lap, steady. I'd learned a long time ago that silence sometimes hit harder than words. Alara shifted from the wall where she leaned, her arms crossed so tight they pressed into her chest. Finally, someone had to say it. He's been leeching off us for years, hiding in that room, acting like he's above everything while we carry the weight. The clock on the wall ticked louder than it should have. The air smelled faintly of last night's burnt toast. Dad leaned forward, his finger stabbing the space between us. You think you're special, boy? You're nothing. You'll always be nothing unless you wake the hell up. Mom's lips parted, but she didn't speak. She just watched me, waiting for me to break. And then the TV, left on mute in the corner, shifted. Bright letters scrolled across the bottom of the screen. Youngest self-made billionaire revealed. The anchor's voice cut in, clear enough to make the room pause, and the name is David Rains. Every eye turned to the screen, then to me. The room, always so full of noise, drowned in silence. My name is David Rains, I'm 26. For most of my life, I've been the quiet one, the easy target, the one they could blame when things went wrong because I wouldn't shout back. Lazy, useless, disappointment. Those words became the wallpaper of my life in this house. But silence doesn't mean emptiness. Silence means watching, remembering, storing every wound for the day it finally matters. And tonight, their words finally fell flat, because the truth, the one I've been carrying quietly, was now written on the screen for the whole world. What they didn't know. I've kept more than one truth from them. The family table. Dad, Victor Rains, 60. A man who measures love in obedience and worth in money. Mom, Lila Rains, 55. Always crying when things go bad, always quick to say family comes first, but family in her mouth never seemed to include me. Alara, my older sister, 28. Beautiful, sharp-tongued, ambitious, and cruel in the quiet ways that only family can be cruel. She didn't need fists to hurt me. Words were her blade. And me, David, the one who never fought back. Until now. Say something, Mom whispered, her voice trembling. Don't just sit there and make this harder. I lifted my eyes to hers. That was all I gave her. Alara groaned. See? He won't even deny it. He's hiding something. He always is. She thought she was right, but she didn't know how right. Dad shoved the job list back toward me, the paper sliding against the wet spot from the spilled glass. All these years we carried you. I broke my back working overtime while you... What? Sat in that room wasting electricity? Mom's voice rose, thin but sharp. We borrowed money for you, David. We covered for you. Do you even understand what that did to us? Borrowed. That word cut deeper than they realized, because I knew exactly which loans she meant, and I knew whose name she'd signed to get them. Alara pushed off the wall, stepping closer. Her voice was cruel but calm, like she was savoring it. You know what's funny? He thinks he's the victim, always sitting there with that blank face, like the world's out to get him. But imagine if people out there found out what you really are. Our family tied to your failures. God, it's embarrassing. The word failures used to burn. Tonight it only made me steady, because I knew something she didn't. Voices piled on top of each other. You drained us. You never cared. You owe this family everything. It was chaos, but inside me, There was only quiet. I leaned forward, elbows on the table. My voice came out low, measured. You think this is about money? I let the question hang in the air until their voices fell off. No. This is about what you all did to me. Dad's mouth opened. No words came out. For the first time, my calm scared them more than their anger ever scared me. 17. I still remember the envelope. The thick paper. MIT, full ride. I ran home with it, breathless, the letter crumpled in my hand from holding it too tight. I thought maybe, just maybe, they'd be proud. Dad barely looked at it before ripping it in half. We don't need dreamers in this house. We need workers. Get a real job. Mom didn't stop him. Alara laughed from the couch. MIT? Please. You can't even talk to people without stuttering. That night, I worked my first shift at a gas station. I saved every dollar, bought broken laptops off Craigslist, learned to code in the dark hours after work, ate the leftovers they didn't want, slept on the floor when they locked me out of my own room. Every humiliation, every laugh at my expense. It all built the empire they had just seen on TV, and not once did they know. Alara's voice cracked the room again. You think money erases what you did? You're the reason, Mom. She stopped. Too late. Mom's face drained of color. Dad's head snapped toward her. I sat back, almost smiling. Say it, Alara. Go ahead. Tell them how Mom took out loans in my name, how Dad signed them, how you both buried me in debt before I was even 20. The air froze. I let the words sink in. You all thought I didn't know, but I did. I knew every dollar you stole. I carried it, quietly. Mom's lips trembled. Dad's fists clenched. Alara stared at the floor. And for the first time, I wasn't the one trapped. They were. Dad's chair scraped loud as he stood. You ungrateful little... No. My voice sliced through his. I gave you all my silence. Tonight, I give you the truth. Mom started crying, covering her mouth with both hands. Alara muttered something, but her eyes never met mine. The house itself seemed to shake, the weight of years pressing against the walls. Alara finally snapped, You think you're better than us because you got lucky? You'll come crawling back when they find out who you really are. I stood slowly, calm. No. I've already built a life without you, and you'll never touch it. That calmness, that scared them more than any shouting could. I walked toward the door, my footsteps heavy but steady. Behind me, Mom's voice cracked. David, wait, we can fix this. We didn't mean... I stopped at the doorway, turned slightly. You meant every word, every laugh, every debt. And now everyone else will see it too. Alara frowned. What do you mean? I pulled my phone from my pocket, the recording app still running. Their voices, every accusation, every cruel word, saved with a tap. I smiled, faint but sharp. You wanted the world to know who I really am? Let's show them who you are instead. Their faces drained. And I walked out, leaving them with the truth they couldn't bury anymore. The night air was cool, clean. For once it felt like mine. Behind me, the house was full of silence and panic. Maybe they'd scream. Maybe they'd blame each other. Maybe they'd finally taste the humiliation they'd fed me all these years. But I didn't need to stay to see it. I wasn't walking away with anger. I was walking away with freedom. For the first time, I whispered to myself, I don't carry them anymore. And for the first time in my life, I believed it. If you were in my place, would you forgive, or would you walk away forever? Tell me in the comments. Your voice matters here. Like if you felt David's pain. Subscribe for more stories that cut deep. Share your truth. Maybe it helps someone else heal.